Let's get an update now on the coronavirus pandemic as President Trump changes his views on when life and business can return to normal. Viviana Hurtado is with us.
Yeah, Bonnie, so Easter is now in the rearview mirror, at least until the end of April. This change prompted in part by top medical advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci. He warns up to 200,000 Americans could die of the coronavirus. Infections and deaths spiking in other areas here in the U.S., New Orleans, Chicago, and Detroit. But the U.S. epicenter is still here in New York. The hospital system preparing for a surge of COVID-19 patients. Temporary field operations set up at the Javits Center. But listen to this, also Central Park in Europe, a grim weekend as leaders there debate issuing corona bonds. Spain had its most deaths reported in one day. In disease-ravaged Italy, a European coronavirus hotspot reporting fewer deaths, and this is seen as a sign the lockdown may be helping to so-called flatten the curve there. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu self-isolating after an aide tested positive for coronavirus. And in Russia, a 20% recent surge in cases as Moscow orders residents to stay home. And that's also happening in Nigeria, closing down its biggest cities. Now in Asia, over to Wuhan, China, that's where the viral outbreak began. And a very different story. It's limited though, but automakers and manufacturing are restarting production. Businesses open, transportation services like buses running again. In India, a different story. The lockdown of 1.3 billion people continues. Migrant workers there, they're being rounded up in quarantine as infections and deaths there grow. I'm going to leave you with this. Pharma and biotech companies, Abbott announcing a 5-minute test to be released as early as this week. On the vaccine front, German biotech CureVac will start clinical trials, as is J&J. A vaccine, at least though, months away. And this is critical for doctors and nurses working on the front lines. It's a race between the spread of disease and immunization for patients.